Hi there, and thank you for joining me today for the live reading of Azreya, Aztec Priestess by Tricia Copeland, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Prelude. On the eve of the winter solstice, Nonan, my mother, it pains me to have no name for her save the word of our people for my mother, but I digress. I shall simply call her Nonan. Nonan labors under a star-studded sky. As the full moon dips near the horizon, she hugs her knees to her chest and prays to the gods for the life of her child. Our gods favor Nonan and Nota, the word for my father, with a daughter whose first wails pierce the silence of the dawn hour. The nursemaid cuts the cord attached to my lanky body. Wide-eyed, she cleans my skin and wraps me in a soft, woven blanket. Placing me in Nonan's arms, the maid cannot stop tears from spilling down her cheeks. Nonan's eyes pool with water seeing her friend's distress. Her heart races anew. Studying my face, her gaze lands on my eyes. She looks up to Nota. What is wrong with her eyes? They are as golden as the sun. What Aztec has light eyes? They are beautiful. Nota kisses my forehead. She has been kissed by the gods. The nurse tugs the corner of my wrap from around me. As the blanket gives way, Nonan freezes. Ba-boom. Her thudding heartbeat echoes through my body. Sensing her fear, I clench my eyes shut and elicit a cry. Nonan rolls me from her chest and lifts my left hand. An image forms in my brain. A thick, dark, curving line lies atop my hand, and it is ringed by two swirling forms. The forms seem animated, as if floating around the center swirl. She has been cursed by the gods. This is a Tetsuwitl from Tepeolat. She is of the darkness. Nonan's gaze pans up as tears spill over her lids. Nota leans in, locking eyes with me. His countenance freezes. No. Look at her amber eyes, pure skin, and strong body. She will be a powerful queen. Give her a strong name. Azreya. Nonan presses her lips to my forehead, her warm skin soothing my nerves. Panquetzalitzli Azreya. In Aztec, Panquetzalitzli is the month surrounding the solstice, a festival season honoring Huitzilopochtli, the god of sun and war. A dance called Serpent of Fire is the highlight of the celebration. I am Azreya, and this is my story. Chapter 1. My father, Nota, farms land on a large plot outside the Aztec city of Azcapotzalco, a parcel that has been in his family for generations. He raises fruits, vegetables, and grains to sell in the city. I am the second of their children. My elder brother, by just over a year, is named Aztec Coyopil, or Red Coyote. Fearing I will bring evil to the family, as soon as Nonan can travel, just 2 days after my birth, my parents rise early and ready for the trip into the city. They wish to gain wisdom from a shaman. Nonan bundles me in a blanket and fits me into a sling. They walk a mile over jagged roads to the Azcapotzalco city-state. A tall brick wall rises 2 houses high, and we pass through the gate, traveling along the narrow, sandy, adobe-lined roads to a small dwelling near the center of the city. They have come to see the shaman Nukpana. He serves as a lesser shaman, but it is all they can afford. Arriving at their destination, they join a line 10 parties deep. Nonan watches the sky as the sun traces west. 1, 2, then 3 hours. As I stir, she sits cross-legged, her back to the stone adobe, and unwraps only my face, taking care to keep blankets snug around my body. She nurses me, and sensing her tension, I suck with haste on one breast then the other. Few babes would be so aware, but I am not just any infant. Once I finish feeding, Nonan covers my head and cradles me to her chest, tapping gently on my back. As the family before them enters the structure, Nonan stands and returns me to the sling. My arms and legs tethered tightly to my torso, I wriggle and cry out. Nonan shifts her weight between her feet, rocking me back and forth. Nestled in the pouch, I find the right position and the motion soothes my angst. I fall into a light sleep. Cool air grazes my face and I pop my eyes open. Above me, Nonan's face appears. Then I see another with large, dark eyes and deep lines. It is a man who is not my father, but the shaman, Nukpana. I release a cry in protest. Nonan rubs a finger across my lips and traces down to my belly, patting my torso. After glancing back to the open entrance, Nonan fixes her gaze on me again. She lifts a corner of the blanket covering me and slides the fabric down, exposing my left side. Dark eyes wide, Nukpana leans over me. His eyes meet mine, then drop. He rubs his fingers over the mark on my hand. I cry in protest, the only weapon I have, voicing my opposition. Tepeyolat. Nukpana repeats the word my mother used at my birth. Her light eyes and mark mean she is of the Tepeyolat god and lord of darkness. I have never seen this on a female before. Water fills Nonan's eyes, and Nota wraps his arm around her waist. You have seen this mark on another? Are you sure? Nota's voice rings deeper than I have ever heard before. What will become of her? Nonan wraps the blanket taut around me and lifts me to her chest. You have been wise to bring me to her so soon. There was a boy, and his parents did not realize the significance of the mark. When he was but 4, he changed and killed his sibling. His mother stopped him before he could harm another, but the family lost 2 sons that day. Sobs heave through Nonan's chest. Her pain overwhelms my psyche, but I do not cry out. I will not cause her further anguish. So what should we do? Leave her to die in the wilderness so she cannot harm anyone? Nota paces to the wood-beam wall. Grief washes from his body in waves, and I brace myself against the onslaught of his pain. No. Those of Tepeyolat can be dangerous, yes, but they often have gifts. Nukpana's voice mellows, sounding like a low cow's bell in my ears. What is her name? Bouncing me, Nonan exhales and looks to the thatch roof above. Azreya. Azreya. It is a good name, a strong name. You have done well for her already. Bring her to me when she is 3, no older. If you see any signs of aggression, growling, scratching, or biting, bring her at once, but 3 should be a good age. I will train her to subdue her inner beast, help her learn to control it, and develop whatever skills she may have. Azreya may be a powerful asset to our city. You are blessed parents to have such a daughter. Thank you. You have put our minds at great ease. Nota slides a bag from the pouch hanging at his waist and hands it to Nukpana. Taking the bag, Nukpana loosens the drawstring and lifts a keko bean from inside. He fits it between his teeth and bites down. Nodding, he sets the bag on the table. He turns back to my parents and, lifting his arms, praises them again, reminding Nonan and Nota to return with me at my 3rd birthday. Nukpana escorts them from the hut. Nonan hugs me to her chest as they retrace their steps back to their home. How am I to give my child away? Nonan lifts me from the sling and holds me in her arms as they near our adobe. It is not as if you will never see her. We go into the city every market day. We will visit her every week, and when she is ready, she may return to our village. You cannot know that. Tears flood Nonan's eyes. She will know our love, learn of our family as she grows. And grow I do, faster than any other child my parents have seen. I sit on my own by 2 months, crawl by 3, and walk when I reach but half a year of the sun. My mind grasps the language, and I begin to understand and turn the feelings I sense from others into words. At my 1st year, I am just as tall as my elder brother, Copeland. They allow me outside our hut when no one else is about, but this is seldom because many farmhands work our land. When Nonan works in the fields, my aunt, Naui is our word for her, who is 13, attends to me, talking to me and teaching me many things. Just after my 2nd year, Nonan bears another child, a girl. Her skin bears no mark, and Nonan rests easy once more. They named my sister Koltzin Kochiquitzel, meaning pretty flower. Coyabel always taunts me, so I pledge to be a good sister to Kochiquitzel. I sit still when they place her in my lap, and I am careful to support her head. As Kochiquitzel grows and I near my 3rd birthday, Nonan's angst increases again. I sense the worry and dread surrounding her, but as I have exhibited no behavior to cause alarm, Nonan convinces Nota to let me stay with them until I'm just shy of 4. They realize I am wise beyond my years and teach me all they can. How to cook, sew, make pots, weave baskets, care for Cochiquitzel, and whittle. Nota even teaches me archery and how to form a bow and arrow when Coyapel is not about to be jealous. The way Nonan fights for me and how my family prepares me for what may lie ahead brings me joy. I cherish each day, knowing what time for goodbye draws near. A week before my 4th birthday, Nonan and Noe pack a bag for me, placing all the clothes, blankets we have made, and my naming ceremony doll inside. I kiss Cochacuitzal and hug Coyopil. Tears pooling on her lids, Noe wraps her arms around me and squeezes. I whisper, "I love you," in her ear. Nota waits with Nonan and I join them, slipping a hand in each of theirs. Waving goodbye, we set off for the city. It is midweek and we pass few people on the road. Seeing the city wall, my heart races at the sheer size of it. We pass through the gates and I survey the huts squeezed tightly together, people ducking in and out of them and strolling the road, many carrying large packs. A jumble of thoughts and emotions barrage my mind and I cup my hands over my ears, my fingers pressing to my head, do nothing to stop the cacophony of images and feelings assaulting me. Nonan wraps an arm around my shoulder and hugging her waist, I bury my head in her side. After what seems like forever, we stop. Nonan pries my arms from her torso. Tears stream down my face, and I feel my heart will break, but this sadness squelches all the other voices. Nonan kisses my forehead. We have talked about this, remember. I will visit you each week. Be brave and nice to Nukpana. Remember everything we taught you. Drawing in a breath, I wipe my tears. As Nonan releases me, Nota bends down and hugs me. We will always be your family, but you are meant for greatness, Azreya. Nukpana will help guide you. Nodding, I kiss his cheek. Standing, he takes my hand and Nonan squeezes the other. We walk, hands laced, up a few steps to a patio. A man appears in the entryway, head cover of a shaman resting over his hair. As we draw near, a memory of the first time I saw his dark eyes, the hard lines of his face, surprises me. I feel his rough fingers on my marks as if he were rubbing his hand over my skin once more. I will not cry again. Nonan says I am to be helpful and beholden because we are indebted to this shaman for agreeing to help me. She gave many lessons on manners and said I am not to be a burden. I should speak only when spoken to and keep myself and the home clean. Nukpana drops to one knee as we approach. He holds out his palm. Dropping my hands, my parents urge me towards him. I place my fingers atop his and raise my chin, willing my eyes to stay dry as Nonan instructed. Welcome, Azreya. I am happy you have come. I am Nukpana. His lips form a thin smile. Guiding me inside, my parents follow as he shows me the earth and kitchen area, complete with water pump. He teaches me how to draw water. I marvel at the cool liquid running from a pipe. Showing me the corner for guests and his sleeping mat, he leads me to the back opening. Here, another wall stands beyond the main one. As the roof continues its slope, it meets the second wall, forming a small space with a slanted ceiling. This is your room. Releasing my hand, he motions me to the right. A woven straw mat lies at the end of the space, and I walk towards it. Spinning around, I see Nonan releasing my pack from her shoulders. She helps me unpack my blankets, and we layer my bed mat with the soft linens. I rest my naming ceremony doll in the center. Nukpana indicates we should follow him, and we pass under the roof on the other side of the structure to the latrine. Showing me the water works here as it does in the kitchen, he winds back into the adobe. I follow, heart thumping in my chest, knowing this is the moment I dread, the one where I will say goodbye to my parents. Inside the hut, Nukpana stoops in front of me. I think you will be very happy here. Holding my breath, I nod. I spin around, and Nonan wraps me in her arms. She releases me, and Nota takes her place. As Nota loosens his grip, he stands. Be well, Azreya. We will see you next week. You will be happy. You will see. I do not believe visits are a good idea. Kneeling, Nukpana fits his hands on each side of my waist. It will be too hard for her to see you each week. She will miss you all the more. Her emotions are what may fuel her transformation. We cannot risk that. My breath hitches. I cannot see Nonan, Nota, Naui, Cochacuitzal, or Coyopil. Reaching out, I step towards Nonan. Nukpana tightens his grip on my torso. I lock eyes with Nota, my resolve not to cry wavering. I tighten my jaw and retreat into my mind, but within my chest, something stirs. A feeling, an energy I have never experienced. It circles, every footfall synchronized with the beat of my heart. My pulse races and my heartbeat thuds, reverberating through my ears. My left hand warms, and I pin it to my side. Releasing my middle, Nukpana places his hands on my shoulders and runs them down my arms. He makes a shushing sound as you would to settle a babe. I focus on the thing inside me. I imagine stroking it as Nukpana does me. It stares at me, light amber eyes wide, like mine. I focus on Nukpana's hands on my arms. It lies down and tucks its head under its stomach. You should go, so as not to draw this out. She is already agitated. But Nonan's eyes well with tears. I raise my hand, reaching out to Nonan, wanting to hug her once more, to feel her skin on mine, smell her lavender-steeped hair. Taking Nonan's hands, Nota turns to the exit. Mouthing the words, I love you, Nona follows. Chapter 2. Patting my arms, Nukpana stands. You have done well. Biting my lip to keep from crying, I spin to face him. Thank you. Tell me what you felt when you heard you could not see your family. Walking to the table, he pulls a chair out and sits. Sad. And perhaps angry? He motions to the opposite chair. Sit and let us talk. I know I am not to be angry. Nonan told me many times to avoid rage, to let it flow through me and up into the sky. I climb into the chair, describing to Nukpana what Nonan taught me, and then the heaviness I felt in my chest, the circling swirl of energy, and how I imagined copying his motion to calm it. He commends me again and tells me that it is what I should do each time the grumbling within starts. I have toys and games for you. Crossing the room, he slides a large basket to a rug. I follow him and sit cross-legged on the braided straw mat. He lifts a bag from the basket and opens it, pours a set of clay cubes out. He motions to them and I pick them up, one by one, making a line. He stacks one atop another. I copy him and then he puts one atop my pile. After a while, he sits and watches as I arrange the blocks, first into a wall, then into a hut. He starts a second wall on one side. It is shorter, much like the wall on his adobe. I finish it with the last remaining block. My eyes scan the room for something to make a roof with. You may use anything in this structure, save for that chest. He points to a square straw basket set next to his sleep mat. Those are my books and personal things. Thank you. I drop my eyes to my hands. How about a game? Nukpana draws a patoli mat from the toy basket. Do you know what this is? I nod. Have you played? I shake my head. You may speak. I want you to talk to me. Tell me what you are thinking. You need not wait for me to ask a question. We should trust one another and be friends. I want to help you become a smart, strong girl. You have a bold spirit inside, and you can make it obey your wishes. But if you do not work at training it, the spirit will grow a mind of its own and overtake you. I want to help you learn to work with that spirit and make you use other gifts you may have. Whatever you are thinking or feeling, you should tell me. Do you understand?